morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about lesson number 11, which is network examples and protocols. So we already discussed what do you mean by network and what is protocol. So protocol is nothing but set of rules to be followed for communication between the computers or by the computers. Okay, so that is protocols, and the networks are nothing but interconnection of computers with the help of wires, and or it may be through wireless, and each system, when it is connected to the network, the systems are called as hosts. Like that we discussed everything about networks, types of networks, and then the cables which are used to connect networks. Like that we discussed earlier. So the introduction which is given here in this lesson is internet protocol, which is IP, is a principle of the communication protocol among the internet protocols for layering on the datagram across boundaries of other networks. Its main function is to allow internet working and boost up the internet. Internet protocol will discharge packets from the source host, and it will be delivered to the destination host through IP address in the packet header. Network protocols is the usual procedures, rules, formal standards and policies comprise of formats which allows communication between more than one device which is connected to the network. So all these are self-explanatory, and network protocols have to do end-to-end process of secure, on time and managed data or network communication. All requirements which combine process on network protocols so as to carry out the communication among routers, servers, laptops, computers and other authorized network devices. Here on network protocols might be installed and routers in both senders and receivers to ensure data and network communication, and apply the software and hardware nodes which communicates on a network. And the types of network protocols are, we know what is HTTP, what is TCP/IP, and here in your book it is given as HTTP, but here you should have HTTPS. Okay, so the basic communication protocols are HTTP and TCP/IP. So HTTP is hypertext transmission protocol, and TCP/IP you know. Okay, then here you should have HTTPS, so which is secured, and this SFTP is nothing but secured file transmission protocol. Okay, secured file transmission protocol, and this SSL is secure socket layer. And the protocol management, network governance and maintenance, which include ICMP. So ICMP is nothing but Internet Control Message Protocol, and SNMP is nothing but Simple Network Management Protocol. So all these can be asked in one mark question, so make a note of it. So now we'll discuss what is internet, what is intranet, and what is extranet. And again these contents also we have discussed earlier itself. So internet is nothing but the net, and it is a worldwide system of computer networks. A network of networks where the user at any one computer can have permission to get information from other computers. The internet is a network of global connection which is linked and guided by wires or wireless and also fiber optic technologies. It was perceived by the Advanced Research Project Agency Network, so which is we called it as ARPANET. Okay, so it is governed by the US government in 1969, and it was the first recognized as the ARPANET. The unique aim was to generate a network that would permit user of a research computer from one university to talk to research computers on other universities. So mainly they started for the purpose of to communicate between one university to another university. Okay, so this is how your internet works. So here is the server, and from server the internet service provider routes you through the router, and from the router or through the modem or through the broadband you will get the internet connection to the client system. Okay. So what is network protocol is when two computers should follow a set of rules when sending and receiving information with each other. So that is called as network protocols. Protocols is nothing but rules we set, right? So senders and receiver both should follow the same rules for sending and receiving the messages between each other. So the jargons internet and world wide web are frequently used interchangeably, but they are not precisely the same. Okay, so here you come across a new word which is called as jargons. So jargons are nothing but they are the words or terms which is used to convey some hidden meaning, which are especially accepted in a particular field. See, for example, in our message chatting, we would type as BTW or FYI. So it's nothing but BTW is nothing but by the way, and FYI is nothing but for your information. And if someone cracked a comedy, we used to tell in it in jargon like LOL, so which means laugh out loud. Okay, so these are some of the jargons which are understood by the which are understood by in chatting messages. Okay. So the internet denotes to the global communication system including infrastructures and hardware, whereas the web is one of the service interconnected over the network. Then intranet. So intranet is nothing but they are used for companies. Okay, they are the private network for companies. Here they can access employee database, they can send reports within the employees, they can share policies, rules with the employees, and they can share the reports of daily basis to the team leaders or to the managers, etc. Okay, so this is not for public use. In Tamil we call it as Aga Inayam. Okay, this intranet is called as Aga Inayam. So it is Inayam. It is a private network within an enterprise to share company's data and resources between the employees. Okay, so that is the use of this intranet. Then extranet is in Tamil it is Pura Inayam. Okay, so it is a private network that uses the internet technology and the public telecommunication system to securely share business information with their suppliers, vendors, partners, customers or other businesses. Okay, so this is also not for public. So outside of the organization, but they should be working in the organization. So to those persons alone you can share data, informations and resources, and that is called as extranet. So these are the network applications. Okay, so by making use of internet, what all the things you can do, by making use of intranet, by making use of extranet, you just have a glance of this. See, for example, by making use of internet you can download programs, files, you can email, e-banking can be done, and audio video conferencing, e-commerce and e-transactions can be done, chatting, etc. So in intranet you can share policies, rules, regulations, you can access the product of and customers data, you can launch of personal department homepage, submission of reports, and here you can have an inventory inquiry, you can have account status inquiry, you can have online training to your employees and warranty registration. So like that. So these are all the applications of network. So then we will discuss about mobile networks. So the next one is mobile networks. A mobile network or cellular network, as it is made up of a large number of signal areas which is called as cells. So cells are nothing but they are smallest signal areas are called as cells. So they used to join to form a large coverage area. Users can cross into different cells without losing their connection. So within each cell there is a base station which sends and receives the mobile signals. A mobile device will connect to the nearest or least base station. The base stations are connected to digital exchange where the communication is sent to other telephones or data networks. Cells will be often smaller in size in large towns as the number of users in the areas is more. So when number of users are more, the cells will be small in size. Okay, so because each cells will have its own coverage space, so that it can cover huge number of users. Communication over mobile network is made by voice data, images and text images. So these mobile networks, now it has been we are into the fifth generation of mobile networks, and where it has been started from first generation, and now it is in fifth generation of mobile networks. So the mobile networks generations are, this is a very important 5-mark question. So first generation, which is called as G, 1G. So G is for generation. Second generation, from second to third generation itself you have second to third generation bridge, which is 2.5. okay, you have 2.5G as well as you have 2.75G, and then third generation. In third generation to fourth generation also, in between you have 3.5G and 3.7G, then fourth generation, then at last we are into fifth generation. So first generation, the speed was 2.4 kilobytes per second. Second generation 64 kilobytes per second. Third generation 2 megabytes per second. Fourth generation 100 megabytes per second, and last it is more than 1 gigabytes per second. So first generation of computers, and it was introduced in the year 1980s. So basically it was used only for voice purpose, and it is fully of analog based, and only local calls can be called, and the speed was 2.4 kilobytes per second. The main disadvantage of this first generation of computers is the mobile size is bigger in size. Okay, so big in size, and the voice quality was very poor, and the battery power also was very poor. So poor battery life. So these are the disadvantages in first generation of computers. Okay, then in second generation of computers, it was introduced in 1991, and in this generation only GSM sets standards for mobile networks. Okay, so GSM is nothing but it is global system for mobile communication, and they sets the standard for mobile communications, and it was most popular standard using this 900 megahertz and 1800 megahertz for frequency bands. You underline these terms. Okay, so GSM was launched, first point. Second is the frequency bands was 900 megahertz to 1800 megahertz, and in this generation the analog signals was converted into digital format. Okay, so you know what is analog and what is digital format. So digital will be in the form of zeros and ones, and here in this generation they used wireless communication, and SIM was introduced, which is subscriber identity module, and then the speed of this is 30 kilobytes per second to 50 kilobytes per second. So basically the transaction was based on two types. One is TDMA and another one is CDMA. So one is time division multiple access method, and second one is code division multiple access method. And then in 2.5G, it was introduced in the year 1997, and GPRS was introduced in that 2.5G, and the speed was 110 kilobytes per second. Okay, and then 2.7G was developed, and it was framed by the edge. Okay, the standards for 2.75 was framed by edge stands. Okay, so edge standards. So edge is nothing but enhanced data rates for global evolution, and here the speed was up to 135 kilobytes per second, and here the transmission rate it reached up to 9.6 kilobytes per second. Okay, and here it enables your device to send or receive messages, pictures, emails, etc. And then the third generation of mobile networks was developed, and it was found in 2003. Okay, so the first UK 3G was launched, and this generation of mobile networks merged different mobile technology standards and uses higher frequency bands for transmission and code division multiple access to delivery data rates up to 2 megabytes per second. And in here MMS was supported, video calls, everything was supported, and the mobile phone system continued to use the digital transmission with SIM authentication itself. And then the data transmission use WCDMA, which is wideband code division multiple access, and which has the data speed access from 384 kilobytes per second and 2048 kilobytes per second. And these 3G suppliers also use ATM, which is asynchronous transfer mode, for their over the air network, and multi protocol label switching or IP addresses for their backbone backbone of their networks. Okay, so in between this 3G and 4G you have EVDO. So these are all the things which are not given in your textbook. So it is called as REV, Rev O, Rev A and Rev B. So Rev O has 2.4 megabytes per second, Rev A has 3.1 megabytes per second, and Rev B has 10 megabytes per second. And then they found the UMTS, so which is 384 kilobytes per second, and then HSDPA, which is 21 megabytes per second. So like this they were going on introducing the various generations inside the mobile networks, and the 3.5G and 3.7G use HSPA plus. Okay, HSPA plus, and the data transmission speed was 84 megabytes per second. Okay, so here it is the UMTS license holders are UK, and they hold the license for 20 years, and 80% of population was covered by this third generation of mobile networks. And then fourth generation of computers. The fourth generation of computers was introduced in the year 2007 based on ad hoc networking model, where there was no need for a fixed infrastructure operation. And then logically roaming in assorted IP networks. For example, 802.11 is a standard, WLAN, which is wireless local area network, GPRS and UMTS, all were possible with higher data rates from 2 megabytes per second to 10 to 100 megabytes per second. Okay, so the mobile devices will not accept on a fixed infrastructure, they will acquire enhanced intelligence to self configure in ad hoc network, and having a routing capabilities to route over a packet switch network. So now we will see the fifth generation of computers. So the fifth generation of computers is called as 5G, and it was introduced in the year 2019 plus. Okay, so still now it is it is developed, and it is yet to be to the public's use. So 5G is the stage succeeds the 4G LTE, which is light, and Wi-Fi Max, and this targets to performance the high data rate, reduce latency, energy saving, cost reduction, higher system capacity, and massive device connectivity. So the data speed will be minimum 1 gigabytes per second to 10 gigabytes per second in 5G network. Okay, the second release in March 2019, the second one released. Okay, in March 2020, the second phase of the 5G was released, and the main advantage is the speed, data transfer speed. Okay, and even it can be accessed at the lowest frequency starting from 600 megahertz to 6 gigahertz. And when comparing to 4G and 5G, the data transmission speed will be 15% to 50% faster than the 4G mobile network. And as I said, it can transfer even a full length movie for 3 hours movie from one device to another device within seconds. Okay, so these are the generations of mobile network, and this is a very important question. You just go through this mobile networks, and in addition to this, we'll send you the link for how does your mobile network works. Okay, so see through it, make a note of it, and read it, children. Thank you.